Morning traders. Thought I'd post a quick update on what I'm looking to do with the ES futures, E-mini S&P futures this morning. The overnight action has been, I guess, mostly short, right? The price action has been under the prior settle of 38.99, and there has been some activity above the prior settle as well to test this edge over here, 39.10, 39.12. On the open, I'd be looking to see the reaction of the participants at some key areas, namely the VWAP, the weekly VWAP at 38.22, and I'd also be looking at the 38.82, I believe, and I'd also be looking to see whether the prior low of 38.90 gets rejected or accepted. Right, we need to really see that, watch that carefully. Oops. So yeah, it's I guess if 38.90 is accepted, if the prices move within the 38.90 and try to settle around here, the 38.99, 98 area, and remain there for a long enough time for value for the 80-20 VAR rule, the VAR rule to come into effect, right? The value transition rule, meaning that the price should try and test the other side of the a balance area as well, which I would have to do a minus here to just zoom out a little bit. You would see that the other side of balance is, so if we move into here, this area, then the other side of balance becomes either the previous value edge here or obviously the naked POC over here at 39.22. It's probably important to mark it as such anyway. So that's my dashed line, orange line for naked POCs. So if there is sufficient bullish intent today, I expect 39.10, the prior open or to be tested. And then if there is significant volume here on the upside, we would expect the other side of balance 39.26 to be tested this week. But of course, the naked POC 39.20 remains the first obstacle for that bullish upside. Now that's talking just about the bullish outcome, right? Let's just maybe go back out to 15 days. That's not going to be enough. We'll need 30 minutes and 30 days just to see what the bearish outcome potentially could look like. Okay, if we immediately slip outside of this area, this naked POC 38.55, I'm expecting a touch of that, by the way. If there is any bearish sentiment on open, this is getting taken out, 38.55, right? This is target number one. Now, I've drawn this rectangle here to show you what the prior areas of balance are. For me, the upper and the lower edges represent the max 70% and the lower 70% area of volume. I shouldn't actually say that. So it's 70% of all of the volume in these in this area is covered here between this edge and this edge, right? So think of a normal distribution. Most of the volume occurs between these prices. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Technicals aside, I'm looking for a if we break 38.55 and continue to fall, I'm looking for a test of 38.21. Right, that's the first bearish outcome. Of course, if we continue to go to the downside, then we'll need to test this edge, then the 37.80 edge. But that's I don't expect that to happen at least the first half of this week. It might be a healthy thing for us to see all of these tests wrapped up this week and the price settles over here somewhere by the end of the week, right? 38.50 area, but with a P-shaped distribution. The P-shaped distribution would be obviously bullish for next week, right? If we get a P-shaped distribution towards the end over here, let's say towards the end of this week, if we get that, then that would mean that we are headed up back into to test this area of balance, which is what approximately, whoops, if I draw the area of balance here, uh, right here. I just take the upper value edges approximately, or include a naked POC. This one is a naked POC. Well, it isn't naked anymore, but it is a prominent POC right over here. If you just include that, you get kind of an area of balance which the instrument has stepped out of, right? So, which is why we are even talking about test of this area of balance, and if this one fails, then test of this, and so on and so forth. But if we get a nice P shape towards the end of this week, assuming it tests all of these things, right? If it tests, whoops, I find think of some really problematic sometimes. Okay, so yeah, if it tests out this area, slips in here and bounces, then I'm looking for a P distribution of the volume. The weekly profile even would potentially look balanced, but the Thursday and Friday profiles should look, P shape with a projected balance target of, I'm going to say, midpoint here. So we try to come back into 3900 the week after, but we do need this week to do this flush and to test. Again, that assumes that we have an overall, um, long-term trend continuing and not breaking apart this week. Haven't seen too much news. There have been some concerns about inflation or rising interest rates or what have you, rising yields. I apologize. But I still have to kind of digest the macro picture personally. I'm not quite sure what the next couple of months holds. All of the all of the economic news from last week was fairly decent. Was, I would say, almost bullish. With the retail sales coming in nice, but the I believe the unemployment claims did rise, if I'm not mistaken, the week before, right? So anyway, guys, that's what I'm looking to do in the morning. Quick recap: test of 3856 needed. Um, then immediately needs to go and test 3870, 3873, the naked POC. But actually, that's the overnight POC. I apologize. It needs to go test price settle of 3877, 3898. I get different readings based on the settings I use. My NinjaTrader chart shows me as a prior settle of 3898, which I believe is correct. I'm sorry, yeah, 3899. That's the prior settle. Apologize. I was getting confused with the color. So this is my 50 period moving average, exponential moving average. Prior settle is 3899. So I'm definitely looking for a test of 3899. If 3890, of course, gets breached. So that's it, guys. Apologize for the slight ramble. It's still too early for me, but thanks for watching.